You are listening to the Spiritual Warrior Coach with Barbara Savin, the podcast for discovering how powerful your wisdom, compassion, and courage is. Get ready to join Barbara and her guests as they explore and offer you advice on how to reclaim your power, your energy, and your authentic self. And now, here's the host of the show, Barbara Savin.
For joining me today and welcome. I am Barbara Savin, your spiritual warrior coach, and I am here to help you reclaim your power, your energy, and your authentic self. And for those of you that do not know me, I am a certified clinical and medical hypnotherapist, Reiki master and teacher, energy healing specialist, life coach, and best-selling author of Gentle Energy Touch, the Beginner's Guide to Hands-on Healing. You know, I have been helping my clients for over 35 years, and the older I get, the more wisdom seems to come through. So isn't it time that you believe in yourself? You know, your mind is going to provide you with your greatest challenges in life because it's so very, very powerful. So let's use it for positive thinking, creating harmony, balance, peace, love, happiness, and anything else that your heart desires, because one day the world will tap you on your shoulder and say, this is your time to shine. Before I get to my very special guest, Lily Rose, I love to begin my podcast with an inspirational story. And this one is called The Coldest Winter. It was one of the coldest winter, and many animals were dying because of the cold. And the porcupines, realizing the situation, decided to group together to keep each other warm. And this was a great way to protect themselves from cold and keep each of them warm. But the quills of each one wounded their closest companions. And then after a while, they decided to distance themselves. But they too began to die from the cold. So they had to make a choice, either accept the quills of their companions or choose death. And then wisely, they decided to go back to being together. And they learned to live with the little wounds caused by the close relationships with their companions in order to receive the warmth of their togetherness. And this way, they all survived. Little food for thought there, isn't it? So now, this lady is unbelievable. And we're going to get into her book and all the things that she does. Her name is Lily Rose. She is a licensed ordained Center for Spiritual Living minister. And from 2001 to 2015, Reverend Rose was a minister at the Woodland Hills Center for Spiritual Living. And since 1998, she has been a Center for Spiritual Living practitioner, helping to awaken her clients to their spiritual magnificence. And her teachings are not concerned with using the mind to demonstrate certain things, people, and success in health and wealth. Instead, she aims to develop an awareness of our true nature through the science of self-responsibility. And in the late November 2019, Balboa Press, a division of Hay House, published her first book called The Spiritual Path: How to Create Heaven on Earth. And Lily Rose lives in California with her two daughters. And now I'm going to bring Lily in because she's a magnificent individual. And here's her book, and we'll talk about it. Welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Oh, it is such an honor to be on your show, and you are so magnificent. Oh, I love what you just said. Oh, I'm going to be watching your show regularly.
Thank you. Yeah, I love those little inspirational stories.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, wow. So we know one another for about a year now, right?
Yeah.
And we got together on Christine Blasdale's boot camp. And then
Oh,
we
yes.
became friends, and we had lunch only a few days ago, and I learned so much about you. You are one interesting individual, let me tell you. And I know before we get into our conversation, you gave me your book, which I am treasuring, and it's like an encyclopedia. But let me tell you, in my heart, and I'm not just saying this because you're on my show, I feel every healer, practitioner, psychologist, psychotherapist, anybody, and I'm actually gifting a few of these to my grandchildren, should read this book, because it is truly an eye opener. And boy, you've been
Thank you.
so much in your life. And can you tell my listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well,
I know it's a lot, but
yeah. Well, I'm the oldest of 8 children.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And there's 4 boys and 4 girls to start from there. And that was definitely a great way to start my life, having a community of a loving, wonderful family to raise me. And I had to raise, I was in charge of a couple little kids myself. I had to take care of 2 of my sisters. And that set the stage for a lot that I went through in my life. I wanted to be a nun when I was a little girl.
Oh.
Yeah. I took a vow. I even chose a name. I wanted to be called Sister Helena, because she was the one that found, I believe it's been so long, she found some proof of Jesus. And that was important to me at that age, because I was a devout Catholic at the time. And then when I was a teenager, I started doubting in, like the religion. Part of the reason was because of my father and my grandfather. They liked to drink a little bit, and that was considered a mortal sin, and then you go to hell. And so I started thinking, there's God is an all-forgiving God. God is all there is. How could there be a devil be more powerful than God? So in my mind, I just believed that God would forgive everyone. And I wasn't quite sure where this was going to take me, because I hadn't discovered the Center for Spiritual Living yet, and was the science of mind previously, and religious science. And I tapped into that when I was 19, and I resonated with that. It just felt like something that a teaching that was all encompassing, that included everyone. And that to me is love, unconditional love for everyone. That's what Jesus teaches, teaches to love everyone. And God is all forgiving. In what I seem to recall from what I've even saw taught in the New Testament, even though that's a heavy subject, could get in a lot of conversations. And I basically look for things that can teach, that uplift, to help everyone to live a better life. And the way I see it, if you have an intention that is pure, then you are doing the best that you can. And it's like you're escaping karma. I mean, yes, if you do something and it's perhaps, even though you did your best, you still might reap a consequence. And you learn from that. You learn how to live your life creatively. You learn how to, and as you grow, like when we're born, we have to learn the alphabet. So there's an order in the universe. There's not just a chaos. And at one time in my life, I thought there was no God, because I had an extremely traumatic experience. And that happened after experiencing heaven on earth. I had experienced a lot of enlightenment, you might say, after stumbling upon the Center. It was actually Christian Science that I had stumbled upon first. Okay. And that teaching is New Thought, but it is where they see that everything is an illusion. And where it's like, because if you think you're a good person and you're doing everything the best of your ability, that if you even did something wrong, because you see it as an illusion, you're a good person, you might think, oh, it's okay. But there is karma to pay. When you do something wrong, you are not, you're not living in the integrity of your higher self. And as time went by in my life, I started understanding and seeing that about consciousness. I stumbled upon understanding how when we make choices that are in alignment with what is right, what is positive, then we are living in the state that is going to uplift and bless the world. Where when we are in the lower levels, we're not living in courage, we're not living in integrity, we're living in fear, anxiety, and worry. We're stressing. We're allowing stress to keep us stuck in the lower levels. And when we're stuck in the lower levels of consciousness, then we find ourselves blaming others. We might get stuck in shame, apathy, fear, worry. And when we're stuck there, then whatever you focus on perpetuates. And and sometimes that can seem so very real, and you might like not believe that God is there for you. So it is very important for everyone to realize that there are laws, there's a field, it's a unified field, there's energy, there's an intelligence in this world, there's life force energy that is everywhere present. And the energy either expands or contracts. And when you're in the lower levels, you're getting less and less energy because you're not loving yourself. And when you're in the higher levels, you are loving yourself. You're respecting the people in your life. You're living the virtues. Okay. And there's 52 virtues, but I won't go into those right now.
Well, then that's another interview, huh?
Yeah, that's another interview. Yeah. Yeah. It's the language, it's the articulating of what you want. And there's the opposite of the virtues. That's when you're out of integrity. That's when you are focusing on fear and lack and limitation rather than on what is possible in life, and focusing on what you can do rather than what you can't do. Yeah, because if you're stuck in that, then you're going down the rabbit hole of negativity.
So did all that, which was a lot now, did that help inspire you to begin writing this incredible book?
Yes. First of all, the experience of heaven, that the story is in my book, but it's kind of long to really give you the full feel of it. But I wanted to help people to know how I managed to find that experience, and how, each and every one of us can live in that state. And that motivated me, because I wanted to be able to gift that to people from my experiences, to help people not to have to experience as many bad things as I had, and it had to get to that place.
Was your family understanding of your abilities, or no?
Well, let's see. My family didn't quite understand me to some levels. They thought, it's like I was into the holistic side, body, mind, and spirit. If you're eating right, then you're going to feel better. You're going to be building your energy up. That is a demonstration of loving yourself. And they didn't quite connect with that. And they were very oriented in Catholicism. And so it's hard to get people to really take me seriously, because, you know, the race mind consciousness, it is contagious. It's the collective consciousness of the universe. People, it's like some people, unless they want proof otherwise, to follow in a different path, they're going to, in a way, it's like we're taught when we're younger to go along a certain way. Our family teaches us, and it's kind of, you're under a hypnagogic spell almost, you're hypnotized up to the age 7. And we believe it hook, line, and sinker, because it's just the way our brain works. And whether if something else was another mindset, you might not hear it. You're like, instead you're thinking, like in Catholicism, you think, oh, I can do bad things and just go to confession and then start all over again. But that's, when you do that, you're building a foundation that's going to collapse. You're not, it's like Jesus talked about that. He's teaching what they teach in the Center for Spiritual Living. And there's some other teachings that also follow along that mindset. But when you are living in alignment with that which is honorable, when you are living an authentic life, doing those things for the highest good of all concerned, you are practicing the presence of the Christ. And that is what is called living in the I am presence. And to be able to experience joy and happiness in your relationships, and I talk about 9 levels of happiness and balance. I won't go into that right now because that's complicated too, but you can find that in the book. But there's different areas that we want to have balance in and live in that integrity, because you are going to pay now, not just when you die. And that is what is called living courageously, making choices for the highest good of all concerned, looking, how am I affecting others? How am I, like at work, you know, the choices that you make, think before you act. Are you going to be hurting someone? And, you know, so you want to make choices that are going to help the people around you, because it's going to make your life better.
Yes.
Yes.
I know, it's, I always say, you know, how you want to be treated is how you should treat others.
Exactly.
So, and treat with kindness, and, you know, come with an unconditional loving way. Because some people, they always have, well, I'll love you if you do this. You know, there shouldn't be if you do whatever. You should just love unconditionally. And that's what true love is actually about. And that's being able to love yourself for who you are. And I think it's just so important.
Most definitely. Yeah, because if you're staying in a relationship, for instance, like into the relationships, if you're staying in a relationship because of what you're going to get, you know, then that's not going to bless the person that you're wanting to hold on to. You're clutching to that person because of need, desperation, fear, rather than, are they going to be happy staying with me? If I, like right now, if you're having problems, you go get counseling. If they don't want counseling, what are you going to do? You can't change others.
No.
You can only change yourself.
No.
So yes, that's so important. You know, so you have to make a decision. Should I break up with that person? And if you say if you do that, then you are actually loving them. You are loving what God has created by loving yourself enough to see that you can live your life without them, and by setting them free to be happy. You know, because if you're holding on to them and you're enabling them, you're say they're addicted to something and you're saying that's okay, you might be caught setting them up to die.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. I always say it's important. And even with, you know, you know, I mean, as a mom with children, I mean, my kids are in their late 40s now with grandkids, but, you know, I always felt it was so important to allow them to just spread their wings. And one spread her wings from where we lived in Brooklyn all the way to California. I was like spreading the wings a little too much, but did it hurt? Oh my, I was devastated.
Oh.
But I
You were
mean,
giving love by letting her go.
by letting her go. And then lo and behold, Sandra's 46. So she was 20 when she left here and left Brooklyn. And then her having children brought my husband and I to California. So, and it's funny because every time I came here to visit her, it was here that I always felt very comfortable. And I knew I needed to be here, but of course I was still back there. So it was hard. But yeah, when we allow them to fly, and my son lives in Florida, and it would be nice if it was a little closer so I can see them more often. But yeah, you know, we bring them into this world so that they have their own life.
Yes, and that was true love by you encouraging them to follow their dreams. And if we clutch them, then we're suffocating them, and we're not setting them free to be all that they can be. And then now they can bring back their gifts and bless your life. You know, you made the decision to move to California, and we're glad you did, because now you're here.
I know. I'm here.
We're gonna have lunch.
We're gonna have lunch again. Yes. It's funny. I'm here 17 years, and just can't get rid of this Brooklyn accent. But I'm figuring maybe within the next 10 years. But yeah. So you know, it's important to allow those that we love, no matter what direction, as long as they don't hurt themselves. But sometimes, you know, they do things that are a little crazy, but that's their way of growing and learning.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have two daughters, and they still live at home. And I have, right now I have the challenge of one of the daughters wants to move to Seattle. So I want her to make the best decision for herself. And if she chooses that, then I will respect her wish. And just know that everything will be in divine right order. And she did go to Japan and she lived there for a year. So that was a growth experience. She taught was like preschool. So that made her grow. And so she came back and she is like so much more mature, and I couldn't be more proud of her. So yes.
Yeah, when we let them just fly. So, you know, do you feel that I guess some of us are on a spiritual path, some aren't, but you know, because I know because of your book, which is, again, I have to say, just remarkable. What does a spiritual path mean to you? That's, yeah, interesting question.
It saved my life, first of all, just a spiritual path. Okay, so so the spiritual path would be, okay, first of all, I believe that, you know, by taking the spiritual path, you create heaven on earth. So the spiritual path is seeing that God is everywhere present, right? And all these paths, no matter what it is, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, we're all wanting the same thing. We're all wanting love. We're all wanting a happy life. We all want to experience heaven, whether it's, you know, whatever experience it is after this body, whatever experience it is, we want to be happy now too. We want to live a life that's of integrity, and we want to do the right thing now. And in my book, what I teach, what the spiritual path is, to do the right thing now, because you experience the results of your decisions now. And that, to me, is I believe all religions probably want to teach that.
Want to teach that. Mm-hmm.
But the spiritual path for me, it's helping people to see that God is all there is.
Mm-hmm.
And if God is all there is, then is there a devil? Okay, because what I see is there's negative, there's positive, there's good and evil actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see everyone as being forgiven because God will forgive everyone. Perhaps maybe some people might not have a really great life, but maybe the next, how am I, I'm tongue-tied. Like, I don't know what's going to happen when we die per se.
No. Uh-huh.
Let me rephrase that. No one ever dies.
Well, that's true. We don't.
We just change forms, which are, because energy always was, always will be, and it can't be destroyed. Right. Does that sound like something? That sounds like what we learned, what God is, right? Mm-hmm. Your higher power, whatever name you want to call God. And so I'm trying to help people to see that in the spiritual path, by living it in a way that is conscious, that you're consciously making decisions right now to do the right thing, then you are going to experience the most incredible life now. And you'll find yourself, when you're practicing the virtues, you're not judging other people. You're not gossiping. You're not stuck in blaming, shaming, other people. You're focusing on the possibilities of life, the adventure of life. You're stepping into grace, right? Because you are living in you're living, doing the right thing right now, not later. And that grace is what heaven is. Yeah. And that makes you feel heaven on earth, makes you feel happy. And when you're thinking of possibilities, you're thinking, how can I be of service? How can I bless the world with the gifts that I've been born with? And each of us have been born with something special. We're each unique and special. And when we can, no matter what happens, what you do, forgive yourself. Because God is all forgiving, no matter what you do, and just pick yourself up and try again. Yeah. Okay.
That's how I feel.
Yes. And
and not to hold on to, if someone hurts you, I feel in my heart. I mean, I know for myself, I've been hurt really like bad. And
not fun.
And at times I said, well, I'll never gonna forgive that person. But then I realized, in order for me to set me free from them, I need to forgive them for hurting me, but I also need to forgive me, for having them hurt me, or vice versa. So it's like, you could say it's like cutting those spiritual cords, so that now the forgiveness, that anger and hate and frustration all of a sudden now is gone. And now in its place, I would always say, I'm sending you, instead of my feeling anger and frustration and everything else towards you, I'm sending you love and light and healing, because the person that hurt me needs to heal. And then I also need to heal. And we're actually set free that way. And then now it frees up more energy for what we need to do now, instead of holding on to yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I teach in the book also. And because if you're holding on to this anger, it keeps you stuck in the lower levels, because everyone is an individualization of God. So if you are not loving this person, that you don't know their story, you haven't walked a mile in their moccasins.
Exactly.
So we don't know what they've gone through. But you can't be with everyone. So you can love them at a distance if you're not compatible. And if you are compatible, then you lovingly, no matter what, it's all about love, but you can set them free, or you can embrace them into your life. But it's your attitude. If you have an attitude of unconditional love, then, and if you forgive the people that have cause you harm, then it sets your energy free. It up levels your energy and you step into grace.
Mm-hmm.
And in that grace, you are able to do more. You are, in a way, paying it forward to all the people. You're being a good role model. And you're teaching the people in your life how to treat you.
Right, right. I always say, the way I want to be treated is how I will treat others.
Most definitely.
And if you want to be treated with love and respect, and then you need to show it. You need to treat others the same way. Otherwise, how can you expect them to do it for you if you don't do it for them?
Now, sometimes we are caught in the lower levels, and we seem to be stuck there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're stuck in the addiction, or like I don't know if I mentioned already, I had bulimia.
No, you didn't. Okay.
I had got bulimia when I was 16, and I didn't get rid of it till I was 27.
Wow.
And I started my healing process. I tried, each step of the way, but you get ox hunger when you have bulimia. And it's really hard to quit because you've got to eat. And it's not like smoking cigarettes, or because you don't need to smoke. Even you want to smoke, but you don't need to.
Right.
You need the food for nutrition, and you don't need alcohol because it's not nutritional. Some people may say, well, it makes me relax. That you don't need it per se. I mean, they might say, okay, resveratrol, but you can get it from grapes too.
Mm-hmm.
And you get what I'm saying.
Oh, I do.
So when you are caught in an addiction, like the immediate gratification, it can sometimes feel so comfortable. You're comforting yourself because you don't want to face, maybe you might not want to face the emotions, the pain that somehow you've attracted in your life from whatever it is. It could be from a relationship, could be maybe your eating disorder is taking you gaining too much weight, and maybe you're experiencing some sort of disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it may be. So whatever we have created in our life, it is up to us to see the possibility of what our life can be. Why focus on what the negative manifestation of what you've had? If you focus on it, you'll get more of the same. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do is treat yourself as an experiment, science experiment. Choose to see what you can be. It's like when I was sick, I ended up attracting another bad thing, which you can find out in my book, but I had a bad trip when I was 19 years old. And I almost didn't believe in God afterwards. I thought, where is God? Why would I have this bad thing happen to me? I felt numb. I felt like a vegetable. I felt dead. Wow. And right before that, I was experiencing, like a few months before, I was experiencing heaven on earth. And then I had a very bad thing happen to me, and it probably had something to do with the eating disorder. And you'll also have to, it's like, it's a long story, and I don't think we have time enough to go into the whole detail. So I'll cover how I got well. Okay. So I felt like I was so sick and would never get better. And I used eating disorder to feel something. And that just made it worse. Okay. And I wasn't doing drinking or anything like that. It was just the food. And it gave me, like I'd come home and I'd overeat. And it just got worse and worse. And I ended up feeling like I had pellagra. I had pins and needles in my tongue and my hands. I would almost pass out. I'd lay down on the floor. One time I had a seizure, and thank God, only one. And I just knew I am going to die if I don't do something. Something is not, I'm heading down the wrong lane, and there's nobody that knew how to help me. And so I had to figure it out on my own. I went to some doctors, and they didn't know what to do. So I began I did get a little bit of help from someone that stumbled into my life, and you can find out about that in my book also. I had someone come into my life that reminded me about generosity, and I felt her kindness, her love when she was giving to the people around me, and the joy that exuded from her eyes when she talked and shared her wisdom. And then she departed, and then it was up to me to take that love energy, that taste of a love energy that I felt, and I made the decision to at least try one day of not eating. And I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll build some self-confidence up from that, and we'll see. Okay, so then I gave it a try. One day I made myself hold the food in, and I felt the next day this building of self-confidence and self-esteem. I felt this love energy, and I call it psychic healing love energy. I didn't know what else to call it. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm psychic. I just felt like this energy that I didn't ever feel before just started blossoming from within me. And it gave me that, I just knew God was there. And I just felt that is where God is, because I couldn't find it when I went to church. I even had people lay their hands on me and try to do the talking of the tongues, and nothing worked. And, I just tried and tried. Where is faith? Where is God? And I felt it when I chose to love what God created by not throwing up.
Wow.
It was, and that started me, because believe me, that is, you do not heal right away. You have to rebuild every cell in your body. And I was reading, I treated myself as an experiment, and I started reading spiritual books and personal development books. And I read a book about, and also heard about it in science class, how every 7 years your cells change and you get a whole new body. So I thought, well, I'm going to change my body and heal it by nurturing it with the right foods, nutrient dense foods. And this was in the late 70s. They hadn't even talked about it yet. Nobody even believed in nutrition. Sugar, Kool-Aid,
Yep.
Diet Coke, the story.
I
And
sure do.
so I had to figure it out. And I'd go to the I remember I went to the hospital. They gave me bacon and eggs and, all the meat products. And I ended up becoming a vegetarian. And now I see the wisdom of plant-based, which is because dairy does give you inflammation. So everything in moderation. You got to start somewhere. But from the plant-based diet is what helped to heal me and build my immune system up and help me. I went and I discovered health food stores in my early 20s. And by making good decisions, I was building my immune system up and healing my brain, because my brain was messed up from the lack of self-confidence, from the eating disorder, from having the bad trip. And I hadn't hardly done any drugs my whole life. Can just take one bad trip to ruin your whole day. That's why I don't really teach. I don't really condone doing drugs per se for spiritual enlightenment. I hear people say they want to do that. I don't condone that. What I do condone are good works. Good works, spiritual good works, doing what is right, that is in integrity. And that is how you get spiritually enlightened, not through
the drugs.
Not through the drugs, not through, there are some benefits maybe, but you use it as medicine if it is a medicinal herb.
Right. Yeah. Because I know I see more and more people smoking marijuana, and I say to myself, wow, and they're telling me, oh, wow, I see all these things. But you're really getting out of reality.
Yeah, because
and it's also destroying the brain cells, I feel. And you're eating more. So yeah, unless it's for something that you need, for pain or something like that, then fine. But more and more people are well, it's legal, I think, here in California.
Yes.
I'm one to say if you need it for medical reasons, fine, but not just to do it on a daily basis.
I agree. Because I did go when I was in my early 20s, I went and I went to a clinic because I had a boyfriend at the time that was doing some things, and I was like trying to decide, do I want to date someone that's doing this when I knew what happened to me?
Mhm.
And so he said that marijuana accumulates in the fat cells of your brain and
Mhm.
it slows down your thinking. So think about that, everyone. So, I mean, you use it sparingly, not as, not because it's all legal, it's party. You use it as medicine more so. Respect it, like the Indians. They,
Yes. Mhm.
mhm,
I
yeah,
think it's very important that we respect it and try to eat, healthy and take more supplements. I know for myself, I am not a medicine person, but if I need an antibiotic or something, then that's fine, because then I know it's going to really work, because I don't just take it for whatever. But yeah, I'm more like you, into the natural things.
yeah.
Because I feel if we really do research and we look at things, that we can help ourselves heal internally with a lot of the products that are out there on a natural basis, organic, natural.
Amen.
Mhm, mhm. It's and I know you feel that way, because I know in your book also
Definitely.
you put a lot of recipes, and uh that how did you
I
get
was
to
a
do
nature
that?
girl.
Yeah, so who taught you some of the recipes in the book?
I made them up myself.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the sprout salad, I just knew it was nutrient dense, and what I did with my eating disorder, it took me a while to totally heal. I didn't stop my throwing up, bulimia, binge and purging, until I was 27. And so what I did was I would do wheatgrass. I was building my immune system up and my self-confidence up to and then a light bulb went off when I was 27 that no one's going to love. I don't like saying, I have to be careful how I say this, that I will be loved. I will accept love. I will feel deserving of love when I'm loving myself. And
Mhm.
so that is when I quit the eating disorder, because it dawned on me, no, how am I going to accept love from someone? And how am I, and then also you look better when you're not hurting yourself.
Yes.
Low. You stay younger. And that I was young when I figured that out. I was 19 when I started this journey.
Wow.
Oh.
So what in actuality what you did was um you built up your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence. You started eating healthy. So,
Yes,
and that's what actually helped you to heal.
yes, I did that's why I'm Holistic Health by Lily Rose Holistic Healing, because I did wheatgrass juice every day if I could, but then I moved a little farther, so I did it every other day. And then my off days, I did it every day. Come to think of it, it was the celery, parsley, spinach, carrot, and beet juice that I did every other
Mhm.
day. I did a combination, and I got it at Follow Your Heart, and it was not pasteurized, flash pasteurized. It was fresh.
It
And
was
then now,
fresh.
yeah, because now they do the flash pasteurizing. They also do cold press. Cold press, I'm not sure. I think it's close to being what it was back then. As long as they don't flash pasteurize it, then that is what I had. And I built my immune system up. And then I got to the point where I was able to release my fear, because I had fear that I wasn't going to be lovable
Mm.
if I got fat. And when I was 23, I did go through a healing phase where I stopped the eating disorder, and I was dancing at the time, and I let myself get fat.
Oh.
Wasn't too fat, but I let myself gain
Mhm.
weight, and I said, I'm making a decision to just eat what I need to get healthy, but I chose nutrient dense food. I did a little bit of liver and onions. I did brewer's yeast because I didn't know about the some of the other things yet.
Mhm.
And then I gradually started eating less because I felt better, and I was exercising regularly, and I did not exercise too hard. If something felt like I was hurting myself, I backed off. It's like you don't exercise like a fiend. You push yourself a little bit, but don't hurt yourself. Tap into it. Release the ego. You are going to be lovable, even if you don't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, right.
Or who's the other one?
Or Jennifer Lopez or anybody
Jennifer
like
Lopez.
that.
Yeah. I mean, if you are steady, if you make goals, it's through habituation, repetition, goal planning. You set a goal and you start going, and you make a habit of it.
Yeah.
And you listen to the still small voice within you to guide you, then you will experience the grace to pull you towards success. Right. The fear keeps you stuck in pain and keeps you it's like it pushes you into being stuck in the lower levels of consciousness, where the love energy of grace pulls you into success. It uplifts you into the higher levels of consciousness, which would bring you into enlightenment, the joy, the peace, the love, be able to use your brain, the intellect to give to the world in some sort of gifts, and release what your ego thinks it should be, and allow divine intelligence to guide you to what you need to experience, which is for your highest good, the gifts that you are blessed. And if you have, like, this is stepping aside another thing. I had bought a house when I was younger, and I let it go because I felt it was crippling my ability to be my higher self. And it went up 200,000 2 years later. And I just said, okay, I wouldn't have had my 2 kids if I had held on to that house. I would not have traveled around the United States for 6 months if I had that house. And I traveled by myself, bought a new car, and I went, that's in my book, part of it, but I didn't put it all in there, but that was amazing. And I also traveled by myself, visited my ex-boyfriend. He was my boyfriend at the time. I traveled 2 months around Europe. I got a Euro pass. I traveled, and I wasn't afraid because I knew I had divine intelligence guiding me. Because when you are living in a state, when you are living with grace moving through you, then synchronicities happen and you are guided. You sense if something isn't good for you. And believe me, I had that happen. I was protected. I found out, and in my book, I talk about one particular instance, but things, the universe, divine intelligence, God is on your side and is protecting you. When you do not run in panic to try to think, what can I do to be of service? Instead of panicking about having, getting a lot of money and you hate your job, is that the answer? To be miserable your whole life and then retire? And then maybe you're going to die 2 years later after retirement because you lived such a toxic life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be afraid. You have to not be afraid to make a choice. I know for myself, many years ago, I was a regional sales director for General Nutrition Centers. Supervised 500 employees, many stores, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Staten Island, and did it for many years. But that was not I wasn't living my authentic self. And then after 15 years, I just quit. And everyone thought I had a nervous breakdown, but I didn't. I finally found me and decided no matter what anyone thinks about me, I am a healer. I know, hypnosis and meditation, and everyone used to come to me all the time just to talk. So I was a very good listener, and I decided, put that aside, just focus on what you really need to do. But of course, I had my husband to support me at the time. But then I found my way. And so, and to this day, I'm very grateful to myself that I actually quit that job because I was stuck.
And you're living your truth.
Yeah, my truth.
And your passion.
And
it shows.
Yeah, and I
Just
love
radiate.
it. And that's why I decided to do the podcasting now, because this is something that I've been wanting to do for many years. And I said, this is the time now to do it. So, yeah, and it is about getting the confidence and the self-esteem and knowing, yes, you can do anything that you set your mind to do.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
why we're here to help
yes,
everybody to see
exactly.
that, because the world needs that. The world needs everyone to live in alignment with their truth and to be so they can be happy. And because there's a lot of fear happening, a lot of people are panicking, and there's so much abundance out there and joy. And if even the people that are really wealthy can back off of their space right there so they can tap into their joy, because maybe they've been just taking care of their own family wealth and haven't been able to really follow their dream. So there's enough there. It's like if we're hoarding and holding on to stuff, then we miss what's really amazing, and we miss tapping into like I don't know, did I mention but the part about automatic writing? And I was reading my book when I was 23, and all of a sudden I started writing all this stuff, and I didn't know where it came from. It came from the higher power, because I had surrendered to God to be a vehicle to heal me, and I felt so aligned with it, and I felt so much grace and happiness within me. And I stopped trying to get, and I allowed myself to be on this spiritual journey to guide me where I needed to be and to heal in time whenever it might be. And then it happened when I wanted to be loved. I realized I want to be loved, and I can be loved.
Yes.
I am worthy of love, whatever that might be, whatever it pictures as, I release it and know that it will, whatever experience and opportunities come your way. You miss those opportunities when you are holding on too tight to what you think is your destiny. It's like God, our higher power, knows what's best for us.
It's spiritual timing. I always say, in its spiritual timing is when it'll be. And try not to force it, because if you force it, chances are it's not going to work out too well or last. But if you just allow it to flow, but also take action towards whatever it is you're looking to accomplish, that's what matters.
Yeah, without action, then we're living in procrastination.
Yes.
Treat and move your feet.
Yes.
God is a verb. Heaven is an action. That's the way I started realizing heaven is an action. If you're not letting go and trusting and moving into action, then you are living in fear. You're caught in lack and limitation. You're believing in something, a power outside of yourself that's separate from God.
Yes, exactly.
So it's going to teach you whatever it is that you go through, whatever happens, it's going to help you. It's going to help you know what direction not to go, the least action pathway.
It's listening to that voice. It's listening to that feeling that never lies to you. That you'll just know when it feels right, and then go for it. That's how I feel. Yes.
And it's like you mentioned, let's see, it's like we have this energy field, it builds like the pyramid conscious. You asked me about that. I don't think I ever mentioned the pyramid conscious. You focus on the tip of the pyramid. It's like the 0 point field. And then it from that trust and letting go, that's when the energy expands and builds by you taking action. And the domino principle, a domino falls and then builds and builds the energy, it expands. So I just pictured those images in my mind to build this psychic healing love energy up, which would enable me to experience the grace. And I wanted to mention that if people go onto my website, they can They can opt in to get the first chapter free of my book. There's a pop-up there, and if you miss the pop-up, down at the bottom is also freebie first chapter. You can go in there and sign in. And
what's your website?
www.lilyrose There it is right there. If you can see it.
Ah.
ROSEHOLISTIC HEALING.com. LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com.
LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com. And that's where they can order your book and get a hold of you if they want some coaching.
Yes, I do
Sessions.
spiritual mind coaching, and you can go, it says book me. So you go there and you can book. You can also go to the contact page and email me to ask me any questions before doing the booking of an appointment. But
Wow.
yes.
Again, I have to tell this, you have to buy the book. I mean, I don't do this for anyone. I've never really told anybody buy a book. This one, you have to buy the book because
it is a labor of love.
Energy that's in this book is unbelievable. And when I looked through it, I'm learning. So, and I figured, I pretty much had it all, but I don't. I'm learning from this book. Anyone, and as I mentioned before, I'm going to gift this to some of my grandchildren that are now getting into the spiritual awareness, because this is unbelievable. So they can purchase this book on your website, LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com.
Yes, they can. They can purchase it there, and they can. It's also available everywhere. Amazon and Balboa Press, they publish my book, so it's at their website. And and I thank you in advance if you buy my book, and thank you for wanting to buy my book for your family members.
Well, yeah, it's I can't wait for them to get it, and and you have to come back because there's more conversation here. Without a doubt, there is a lot that I feel you need to, let my listeners know about, because it's very spiritual, very conscious, very awaken, extremely awaken.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I thank you so much. And again, it's LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com. Right?
Yes, it is.
And buy the book and go on her website so you'll get the first chapter free. That in itself is a huge gift.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate
you for having me.
Thank you so much. And all right. So, wow, that was a beautiful interview. Probably one of the best I've had right now. And I've learned a lot. So thank you.
Oh, you were absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to listening to all your podcasts that you create.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, again, thank you so much for listening. And I would like to leave you with these words. My purpose is to help you overcome your challenges and to encourage your healing and your success. So nurture and honor your dreams and your desires so that you are able to manifest them. You cannot build a story of success if you give up. And the world is full of people who have given up. And the world needs hope. So stand up and fight through those challenging moments and allow yourself to shine through the dark times and to be the difference in an indifferent world. So trust and believe in yourself. And I hope that you enjoyed my podcast on my very special guest, Lily Rose, and visit her again at LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com. So, also visit me at motivateyourlife.net, and also visit my YouTube channel, Barbara Savin. And there I have a lot of grounding meditations, some sleep meditation, relaxation, and so much more. And go to, and this will be coming on YouTube, the Spiritual Warrior Coach podcast on YouTube. And it'll be showing every Tuesday. So I would love to hear from you also. And email me at barbaraesavin@aol.com. That's barbaraesavin@aol.com. And again, thank you so much for joining me today and my special guest, Lily Rose. And again, visit her at LilyRoseHolisticHealing.com. So have a beautiful day filled with love and with light. Love, Barbara.